Hello, and welcome back to a second review that we're shooting today. This one is going to be a lot quicker than our last one.
Yeah, this one shouldn't take more than about, what do you figure, 10 minutes?
15, 20 maybe.
15.
Once again, I am Jared from Ninja Mafia Entertainment, and with me, as usual, you've kind of become a regular figure here.
I have. It's really weird. You said you were going to have a lot of other people, and I'm like the most reoccurring person on your show.
I have people probably. Sean from Byron Mara. Woohoo!
My most extravagant intro yet.
No, well, you seem happy in that one. All
Yeah.
right. Today is Killing Joke.
Yes.
Did you love it, hate it? This one.
I didn't have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this is the second movie that we've reviewed today and talked about where I didn't have any goddamn fun.
My biggest problem with The Killing Joke going into it is I wanted to love this movie.
Right.
I really, really wanted to like it more than I did. It came out very
Well, let's talk
mad.
about the original Killing Joke, the book, the graphic novel that came out by Alan Moore, and I forget the artist. I'm very, very sorry. The original story is the Joker decides anybody can be him. He isn't unique. He isn't special. Anyone can be him. All it takes is the right push, right direction at the right time.
Yeah,
And
he decides to.
He decides to do this to Gotham's Pillar White Knight, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah,
He shoots Barbara.
and it's fine. And
Well, I don't think it was intentionally through the spine, but he shoots Barbara,
yeah,
kidnaps him, and subjects him to an unspecified amount of time of psychological and physical torturing
well, he did.
through his.
He did strip Barbara and make him look at photos of that.
Was that? In
That
the book?
was in the book.
That was in the book. Okay.
There wasn't.
It was very uncomfortable in the movie. Honestly,
There wasn't
I don't
a
remember
rape
that.
implied in the book. Not really.
Right. It was just I knew that he had images of her broken and bleeding on the carpet,
Yeah.
which is a horrible thing for basically any parent to look at. Is your child in pain and a monster standing over them with you, incapable of doing any kind of action, especially for a police officer.
Yeah. He very much tries to break Gordon.
Well, it's part of what makes the story so wonderful at the end when Gordon doesn't break and he's still
he tells Batman, "I want this done
by the book, and it's the reason that in the end it was written to where it's very ambiguous as to whether Batman kills the Joker or not.
Yeah.
Alan Moore has gone on record saying that he intended to kill the Joker in this.
Well,
It was the Batman's final breaking point.
when it was a
don't-
side story, yes, it's when it got wrote, and it's when fans reacted so well that it got written into the main continuity that he
Right.
did. As a standalone story, yes, he killed the Joker. 'Cause
Right.
I
Which
think
you
that-
can read it and take it either way, and I love this story. It's one of my absolute favorite Batman stories, period.
Yeah. Was this? I do want to ask real quick. I don't remember the exact time frame. Was this before or after Jason Todd?
You know, I don't remember, honestly.
I know it was.
I don't
The
remember
story
where
came
it
out
falls.
in '88. I think roughly around the same time. It might have been right before because it also wanted to show what would push Batman to finally.
Right.
I think, and with like the Jason Todd stuff, it kind of undermines all that. I think it was before Jason.
It probably was. But either way, when you put him into the continuity, it's one of the few Batman stories that was written out of continuity but can be put into continuity just as well, and it actually helps the canon.
Yeah,
And I really love this story. I think it's one of the pivotal moments for Barbara Gordon as a character, for Commissioner Gordon as a character, and for Batman as a character.
Yeah.
And you kind of have this boiling cauldron of this tension that's always there, and you get a better feeling when you're done with the book than you do in this movie.
yeah. Well,
But
also like so mad at DC because they basically undid the whole thing with the New 52.
yeah,
She's walking
Yeah,
like
but
it happened, but
let's not talk
Yeah,
about.
we're not gonna
Let's
stray
not talk about what the
off
New
topic.
52 is.
let's
freaking
jump into
shit on.
the movie. The one thing, like the biggest thing I did not like about this movie,
I've got a couple, so you go ahead.
my biggest thing was it felt like I was watching two completely different stories. Like
Yes.
they did the background with Barbara and the guy that was obsessed with her.
Yeah,
and
which I absolutely could not stand. That was
I see
stupid.
why they put it in there.
But it undermines Batgirl as a character by
Yeah.
having her have this problem that she has to live up to Batman versus Batman forcing her to stand on her own.
Also, the kind of like the whole secret like sexual tension. I never got that.
Yeah, no, there's a.
I
I'm
think
not
I
the
think
world's-
Nightwing would have showed up and whooped some ass.
I'm not the world's biggest Batman fan, but I'm pretty sure
There's-
even he understands the line that you don't cross when it comes to having sex with your most trusted ally's daughter on a rooftop.
Yeah.
That's a line
Well,
you
there
don't
was-
cross, man.
Well, plus, I mean, Barbara was all. It was always her and Nightwing. It wasn't ever like.
Well, there have been differing reports, but either
but
either way,
still-
he is still
there's
a good age gap in between them.
and there's never been sexual tension at all.
Well, again, it depends on which writer you go with, but I've never enjoyed those stories where there is.
Yeah.
But
that-
I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that it had her be I have to prove that I'm good enough. It's like, no, Batman never demanded that. Batman demanded you do your job.
Yeah, and it was really like he was like, "You're too invested." Like,
Yeah,
I get why they did it to kind of put
they
something.
did it for padding, is what they did. Let's
yeah,
face facts.
basically. But I mean,
Because that story doesn't have a payoff.
that was it pissed a lot of people off.
I can't imagine why.
Nah, yeah, right. I didn't.
All she had to do was scream out Martha, and I'm pretty sure Batman would have just pissed his pants right there.
Oh, the puns.
That wasn't a pun. That was just sexual deviancy right there.
Pretty much. But and
Can
that
you
was.
imagine that angry sex? Shut up, Martha. What? Shut up. Martha, why did you say that name? Oh, yes.
Yeah, and let's not forget we got a nod to Batman Beyond and I swear to me. I swear to you, Batman. That happened. I
Was
rewatched.
Batman Beyond?
No, not Batman.
Batman Begins.
Begins.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a nod to that.
No, I like
But-
that. I thought that was fun.
It really felt like two different, like that whole that was not
Yeah,
necessary.
again, that was a whole bunch of padding that really didn't need to be there.
And we didn't get
doesn't-
enough time invested in the Killing Joke story because of that 30 minutes of.
Well, that's the thing, is The Killing Joke is a very short story that doesn't need to,
it is
to
one of the
be...
smaller of the graphic novels.
It is. Honestly, it's like, what, 48 pages at best?
Something close to it.
Yeah, it's remarkably short.
I think it was like a 4 to 5 issue series
Was it really that
when
long?
it came out.
I would almost swear it was a 3-issue miniseries.
Might have been.
I
It
don't-
was 88.
Again,
know.
I don't remember. I was like 2 when it came out. It was something I grew up reading.
I wasn't even born yet.
But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about what I think is the biggest glaring flaw about all of this, besides Batman boning Barbara. The Joker is way too wordy in this.
He does have a lot more. I mean,
It rivals Wolverine's inner monologue, but that's the problem. In the book, it's his inner monologue. You get a glimpse into the Joker's mind, and you get to see kind of what he thinks, which is interesting. But they also use the artwork and the stylings to still inflict that menace and dread that he instills, of the uncertainty of him.
yeah.
But for whatever reason, and I don't know why, because Mark Hamill's back as the Joker, and I love Mark
Dude,
Hamill
when
as the
I-
Joker.
when I
He's so
first-
good.
When I first heard like his first words, like, dude, it sent chills down.
Oh yeah, no.
I was
he
like,
is-
see, at that point, it was like, okay, I can forget that 30 minutes I just watched. I'm on
yeah,
board.
I'm
Let's
abandoning
go.
that story just as hard as this movie did. But yeah, I don't know why. I love Mark Hamill as the Joker. I was bored, and I was just sitting there. I'm like, do we really need to hear all this?
I enjoyed the backstory part with
That's my biggest
the
problem that I have with both the
Joker.
comic and the movie is them trying to give Joker a backstory. because they have that bit at the end. If I have a backstory, I want it to be multiple choice, and I think that. No, sorry, our timer's letting us know where we're at. But one of the best portrayals of the Joker's backstory is actually in The Dark Knight, where he has overlays. He keeps telling, "You want to know how I got these scars?"
Yeah,
and he keeps doing that, and it's different every single time. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's actually really, really smart."
The Joker does have a couple of that, but the biggest one is he was the Red Hood. Now,
Well, that's
obviously,
a possibility,
yeah.
but a lot of people have taken with it and run it because of this, and it's one of the things that I've never liked about this, because that's part of what makes the Joker such a menace, is you never know. This is the uncertainty of him. You don't know what he's going to do. That's what keeps people in fear of him, is the constant guessing.
Yeah.
Is he going to blow somebody up? I don't know. Is there going to be a break in that pie? I don't know.
And they even dove into that in the movie, because when Batman goes like trying to find the Joker after he shoots Barbara, like they're like, yeah, we're scared of you, but we're terrified of him.
Yeah. No, that I really did like that, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a holdover from the comic. But yeah, he's threatening a gang boss, and it's like, look, we may be scared of you, but this guy literally makes me shit my pants.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, that's actually pretty good. But the Joker talked way too much, and I was just like, can we do something?
The
We're
musical
a visual medium here. It's show, don't tell. And that's always what I thought drew the Joker a lot closer to people as a bad guy, was how little he talked and explained. And in this, it's just pretty much nothing but him explaining.
Yeah. Well, also, like, the whole musical number was...
Yeah, there's a
pointless.
musical number that comes right out of left field. Doesn't do anything. I believe the term that the popular kids use is a big-lipped alligator moment. Which, for those of you who don't know, go watch All Dogs Go to Heaven, and there's a scene where Charlie has a musical number with a big-lipped alligator, doesn't add anything to the movie, it's never brought up again, and it's just kind of its own pocket of insanity. And it's just like, this would have worked so much better if we just silently watched Commissioner Gordon go through this horror, because he has the photos of Barbara bleeding and broken.
We didn't need the musical number.
Didn't need a musical number, and it just would have been so much more frightening and intimidating if we didn't hear what was going on to him.
I think the biggest problem where they came with this is with them bringing those voice actors back. I think they were trying to give us something like maybe an end to Batman the Animated Series. Like, they may have been, like, they were trying to make the characters the same. And
yeah, I kind of picked up on that, and I was like, I don't really
see,
like this.
like, that's...
It doesn't end the series, because there's more adventures to be had after that.
Well, yeah, and we also got a very different... well, with Batman Beyond, we already know what happened with the Joker and all
Right.
that. So it was, but
Yeah, they couldn't end with him strangling the Joker.
I felt that they were also
Speaking of which, let's talk about the end now, because I think we've talked about just about everything else. Let's talk about the end, which I hated.
You hated the end of it.
I hated the end. I was just like, why did you change it? In the end, the Joker tells the same joke of two mental patients escaping an asylum, and they get to a giant chasm, giant leap across two buildings, and it's like, don't worry, I'll use the flashlight and create a bridge. I'll go over, and then I'll shine the beam, and you can walk over. And it's like, no, you think you must be crazy. As soon as I get halfway over, you're just going to switch it off. And that's kind of the breaking point for Batman, is he's beaten him, he's broken him, and he's proved that his point is wrong, that he lost. And the Joker will not see what is in his face. And it's the point where Batman realizes he will never change. There is no redemption for the Joker. He's going to be this way, always. And in the end, he has him on his knees, and it's very, very nebulous as to whether he's choking him or he's just holding him down.
Yeah, he wasn't on his knees.
And in this, they both have a good laugh, and it's like, really, that's how you end it?
Well, in the comic, if I remember, Batman laughed at it too.
No, that was another story. Because I know the one you're talking about, and it's not the Killing Joke.
But like you hear the Joker laugh and then you hear nothing. In this one, it was like you hear both of them laugh, but you don't really see.
Yeah, and then it pans out, and it's like, well, that was a weak ass ending.
Yeah, I think it was just they didn't go into the comic enough.
It didn't have the edge.
Yeah,
It didn't have that, essentially that gut punch that the Joker needs. I can name a lot of the Joker Batman animated series where I felt way more terror about the Joker in a kids show than I did what became a rated R animated movie.
Return of the Joker.
Oh my God, is that not terrifying?
God, dude, that was honestly like I think that was one of my favorite.
Oh my
parts of
God,
Batman
I
Beyond.
remember watching that as a kid. I was a huge fan of the animated series, and Batman Beyond came out. I was like, this is alright.
I never saw that in it, like especially with Tim Drake. I never saw.
No,
that.
it was great. And then I saw the Batman Beyond, and I was like, yeah, this is alright. I kind of like the styling. It's
I would
cyberpunk aesthetic.
definitely. I'd rather go.
But then
back
they bring back the Joker, and I'm like, is this what it feels like when you jack off and you finally orgasm? Because I think I just busted a nut listening to this.
The whole thing.
It was such a huge payoff when he finally returns, and it's like, and you get that terror that's in Bruce's face, and he's like, you can't be alive.
Yeah, he was like, "There's no way you can't do this.
You can't. I've faced demons, and you cannot be here."
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's part of the thing. You never really get that, and it's never really brought home the repercussions of what happens.
Yeah.
Barbara ends up, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of in a wheelchair now.
And
It's
now
like,
I'm Oracle.
yeah, now no time is given for any kind of passage of time. It's just, well, I am Oracle now, and I'm going to help Batman from behind the scenes.
Yeah, it definitely could have been done much better. Like I said, I really wanted to love this movie, but I can't.
Yeah,
Because
it falls flat on a lot of levels.
That's so weird for DC animated movies.
They're
do
usually
a
really,
lot
really
of-
good.
Like, they made Aquaman cool again. Like, the Justice League Throne of Atlantis, that wasn't that bad. It was good. It made
Well, that's
Aquaman
the big thing.
cool.
Everybody says Aquaman is lame ass, but it's like, I'm sorry, are you ruler of 70% of the frickin' planet?
Yep.
Didn't think so. Are you the king of all the monsters and
Well, even like
Lovecraftian demons that haunt the deeps? No, you're not.
Well, even like Justice League versus Teen Titans, like they dive into characters, and we really just didn't get that. We didn't get the payoff.
that was the other thing I wanted to bring up, but I got sidetracked talking about Aquaman apparently. You don't really get any time to know any of these characters. Okay, we got to wrap up soon. We're almost at 20 minutes for this, and we've only got the room for a few more minutes. But yeah, it just doesn't. It kind of falls flat. It feels like a rushed production, which is really weird considering that they took the time to set up a whole bunch of. They got really great animators.
Yeah.
They got really great voice talent for everybody, and they clearly spent a lot of time working on this because if it was just slapdash, you would have had like a motion comic or some bullshit.
Yeah, it's
But-
just I was very much let down.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is that it's a legacy comic and it will never live up to what other people expect it to be. But I think they didn't really try in this, and that's the biggest problem, is they tried to appease way too many people.
Yeah.
Whereas they could have just essentially made the story.
That's what
And it
they
would've been
should
fine.
have done, especially with them giving an R rating,
Right.
and they didn't do it.
Right.
So it
But-
fell flat.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's my
Rather
thoughts on it.
than being shocked and horrified at what the Joker is capable of, you're just kind of left with this.
Yeah.
This just happened.
And I'm pretty sure that's it, man. Like I'd say, yeah, watch it, but you're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, you can if you want. If you're kind of into almost incestuous relationships between Batman and Batgirl,
Yeah.
and implied rape of a paraplegic.
I'll put it like this: maybe watch
Implied rape, very much more implied molestation
Yeah.
of a paraplegic, I should say.
Well, here's my final thoughts. You can watch it or not. Go read The Killing Joke.
Read The Killing Joke, definitely.
That's all, like,
Far superior book.
but if you've never watched or read either, watch the movie and then read the book, because you'll see how much better it was.
I would disagree with that and just say go straight to the book.
Yeah.
And then go watch Batman the Animated Series
Yeah.
because it's way better.
I think that about wraps it up. And
That's about
until
it.
next time, we will see you guys later.
Laters.